I'd like to go over some homework with you, one of each type, so that hopefully that'll address any questions you might have about the homework. Looking at the first part, it tells you that there's information that is given about a polynomial function whose coefficients are real numbers, and they want you to find the remaining zeros. So, if you look at number 1 in your homework packet, it tells you that in number 1, the degree is 3. So there are 3 zeros, but it only lists one, a 0 of 3, and then a second 0 of 4 minus I. As we've always said, imaginary numbers travel in pairs, so the remaining 0 is 4 plus I. Easy question. The next section tells you to form a polynomial with real coefficients having the given degrees and zeros. So this is a degree of 4. So we know that we have a real solution of 4 with a multiplicity of 2. So we have x minus 4 squared. Then we also have a 0 that is a complex number of 3 plus 2i. So if you recall, remember, I'm going to use brackets, and we're going to write that 0 as x minus 3, just like we did here with a 4. I'm going to put that in parentheses. And then I'm going to say plus 2i. And then I'm going to have another one that's going to be x minus 3, still minus 3, but minus 2i. Okay. So we have our 4 zeros, 2, 3, 4. So let's use the shortcut and square here. So we square the x squared, x, and get x squared. We take 4 times x and then times 2, so we get minus 8x. And negative 4 squared is 16. Then we're going to take x minus 3 times x minus 3, which is the same thing we did here. So we square the x's, x squared. Negative 3x and negative 3x is negative 6x. And negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9. But we have one more part. We have the 2i times 2i. So 2 times 2 is 4. Negative times positive gives you negative 4i squared. But we know that I squared is negative 1. So negative 4 times negative 1 is plus 4. So this actually is 13. And then we multiply everything out. X squared times x squared, x to the 4th. I think I'm going to run out of room here. X squared times 6x is minus 6x cubed. X squared times 13 is plus 13x squared. I'm going to fix this plus sign because it's a little bit goofy. Go back. This is cubed, and this is a plus here. Okay, then we take negative 8 times x squared is negative 8x cubed. Negative 8x times negative 6x is plus 48x squared. And negative 8 times 13. I don't know about you, but I can't do that one in my head. So 8 times 13 is 104. So it gives us negative 104x. And then we have to take 16 times each of them, plus 16x squared. 16 times 6, again, grab your calculator if you need to. It is positive times negative, so minus 96x. And then finally, 16 times 13, which you definitely need your calculator for, which would be positive 208. Okay. So running out of room here, but our final answer would be x to the 4th. We combine, oops, somehow my cube disappeared here. We combine our cubed, so negative 6 and negative 8 cubes, and gives us negative 14x cubed. Combining our x squareds, we have 13, we have 48, and we have 16. So we have 77x squared. And then our x's. This was a cube. I don't know why that keeps disappearing. Our x's, we have negative 104 and negative 96, which gives us negative 200x. And then we add our constant term of plus 208 to get our final answer. Okay. The last one here, let's see, if I can shift this up here while we're working. I can. And let's go back to looking at number 9 here then. So use the given zeros to find the remaining zeros of each function. Well, it is a cubic, so we know we have 3 zeros. One of them is 2i, so another one is negative 2i, because imaginary numbers travel in pairs. How do we find that third one? Well, we know it's going to be factors of 16, but let's plug it into our calculator into our y equals x cubed minus 4x squared plus 4x minus 16, and either look at our graph or our table and see where it crosses. And when you do, you see it crosses at 4. So not much work here since they give you one of the complex zeros. We know our 3 zeros. Okay. Our last type is what we just did in part 2. And that would be to find the complex zeros of this polynomial. So it is a cubic, which means it has 3 zeros. So let's go back to our calculator. And if you see, it's got a negative 1. So one of my zeros is going to be 1 or negative 1. If you're not sure, plug it into your calculator, x cubed minus 1, and go ahead and look at your graph or look at your calculator, and we find that one of the zeros is x equals 1. So again, we're going to do synthetic division. We have x cubed, no x squareds, no x's, and there's my constant term. Okay, so we bring down the 1. 1 times 1 is 1. Add, we get 1. 1 times 1 is 1. Add, we get 1. 1 times 1 is 1. Add, we get 0. So our polynomial is x squared plus x plus 1. So again, we're going to set that equal to 0 to find it, but there are no factors of 1 that add up to 1, so we're going to have to use the quadratic formula. So our last 2 solutions are x equals negative b, so negative 1, plus or minus, b squared, which is 1 squared, minus 4 times a, which is 1, times c, which is 1, all divided by 2 times a, which is 1. So we get negative 1 plus or minus the square root of 1 minus 4 is negative 3 divided by 2. So those are our 2 answers, but we do need to simplify the radical. So our last 2 solutions, and I'll add them up here, are negative 1 plus or minus I root 3 over 2. So we have 1, 2 with a plus, 3 with a minus, are 3 solutions since it's a cubic. So hopefully that helps you be able to successfully complete your homework, whether that be on Math Excel or in your packet.